Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another Premier League preview show, the second week of this Premier League season, 22-23 season. And you know who I've got with me? You know who it is. It's my co-host, the wonderful co-host who's always does a great job checking the records, stats, having debates and discussions in my brother, Edmin. How you doing, man?
Yeah, all good, T. Thank you. We're maybe a day early, but I'm sure you'll explain why we're doing it on a Thursday instead of on a Friday.
Yeah, well, guys, I was thinking anyway that I'd prefer. Well, me and Ed would prefer to try and do it on a Thursday anyway, if all being well in terms of time for both of us. But the main reason is I should be heading down to London tomorrow to get ready and see the Arsenal game. So yeah, we had to do it a day early, which leaves you more than enough time to get your predictions in. So big up everyone in the place right about now. Who we got locked in? We got Wilf in here. Big up yourself. Me and Wilf are having a big debate earlier on in the week. And you may have seen it on the Arsenal show. Go check it out. Talking about who was at fault. And he thinks it was Saliba as at fault for Eze's chance, whereas I thought it was Erdegaard. Big up yourself. That's why he's saying, yeah, don't know how to defend. But yeah, it is what it is.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job he didn't go in. Imagine the debate if Eze had popped that one in like he probably should have done.
Tell me about it. Exactly. I have my predictions ready. Big up yourself, G Staffy. And if you don't know, if you don't know now, you will know. G Staffy made a wonderful compilation video that I saw yesterday. She actually did it the day before and put it in the Discord server. If you are in the Discord, go check it out. And if you're not, you're missing out on great things like that. So big up yourself, G Staffy. Thank you for that wonderful compilation. I've showed all my family, showed my mom, showed my sisters, and they loved it. They were all smiling, like grinning, like skin and teeth. That's all it was. Yes, I did, G Staffy. I really did. Thank you so much. And this is why you're the legend, the OG and G Staffy herself. Big up yourself, TCM in the place. Hope you're keeping good, sis. Big up Monzi. He's in here as well. Stato Ed. He's called you right there. David.
Well, at least you got it. At least you got my name right.
Yeah, exactly. Big up yourself, David. Hope you're keeping good. Big up Paxton. One day the stream will be on time. Wasn't it on time today?
About 1 minute. 1 minute, I think.
1 minute. Come on, Pat.
1 minute. Two at most.
You are. Big up yourself, Yannick in the place. Hope you're keeping good. Nice to see you in here. And then look who's in here. We got Moss as well. Hope you're keeping good. And there's Paxton putting in the link for the Discord if you haven't already checked it out. Before we talk about the fixtures here, Ed, we didn't speak about this beforehand, so I might
we didn't.
On the spot. We did do our first week of predictions that you guys left them in the comments. I'm not sure if all of you did. Of course, it's a new format that we're going with heading into the new season. I did say at the back end of last that we're going to do individual predictions now. So, Ed, have you got the spreadsheet up? Have you got it close by or?
Well, I can do, yeah, but yeah.
I'll keep. Don't worry, I'll keep talking just in case.
Because I've just got to put. It's because I haven't got it with Moss first because that's who it is.
Okay. Yeah.
He came in late.
Oh,
to the party with.
Yeah.
Well, I came in late finding his predictions anyway.
Fair enough. And if you don't put Moss in there, Moss first, you know he ain't going to be
happy. Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, exactly.
I will try and find it. I have got it. I'll try and share my screen in a sec.
The graphics weren't bad at all in that video, G Staffy. If you want to send them over, is there another way that you can send them, like a Dropbox or something? We'll probably have to work something out where you could get it to its full capacity. But I didn't think that the graphics were bad at all. So big up yourself. Oh, here we go. He's got them ready.
So this is it now. So it's a bit rudimentary. I didn't know it was going on a stream, or else I'd have put the orange and black and white.
It's all right. It's all right.
But this is where we are so far. So Moss actually got two results spot on. I think from memory that was the Leeds game and the Newcastle game. I might be wrong. Then Wilf Paxton and Awi Scotch, who left them in the comments, they all got one right each. You got 7 points, but you didn't get one right. You just got a lot of results right. As did Rich from Eagle Eye Football, CM, and myself. I think CM got a game right, and so did I. Then you've got Black and Blanco and Jacob there with 6 points each. Bobby from Football Values TV is technically fifth, but we've got like 10 people or
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And then at the bottom, you've got TCM bringing up the rear.
It's interesting.
On 4.
Yeah, it's not too far. The gap's not too big. What, from first to last is 6 points. That's not much at all, especially.
And if I've missed any ones, then feel free in the Discord to let me know where they were, and I can pop them back in. It's definitely. Like you said, it's all brand new for us at the minute, so we're still getting used to it.
Yeah, definitely. Don't worry, people. He's all brand new. Bear with us. Make sure you do. But big up Brushes in here as well. Hope you're keeping good. And you know what? I think we're all ready. We've all done the little admin out of the way. Make sure you listen to David, though, and you hit that like button. You share the stream. Subscribe, please, so we can get up to... We're aiming for 600 now. You know what? Taking it steps at a time. Thank you to you all for the 500 subscribers. Thank you for all the support that you continue to show to the channel. And let's get underway right now. So... we're not doing it in chronological order. We do like to mix things up over here in Tereak Talks. I know last week we did, but that was mainly because it was the first weekend, and the most important one was the first one because it was the first weekend. But now, of course, this week, the big game is at Stamford Bridge, 4:30 in the UK, which is Chelsea against Spurs. This one's huge. Thomas Tuchel up against Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte returning to the Bridge. Ed, hit us with the records and stats for this one, because I'm sure a lot of you will know that Spurs don't have a good time when they go to Stamford Bridge.
No, they don't have a good time against Chelsea, full stop. So the last 5 meetings, there's actually been 5 wins on the bounce for Chelsea. So that's where we are right now with it. I haven't got the XG stats and stuff because realistically it's only going to be from one game of the season. So at the minute, I think Newcastle have got like an XG of almost 3 because of how well they played. So it kind of will skew the figure, so to speak. So at the minute we're just going to stick to the last 5 meetings, and maybe a month into the season when things calm down a little bit, we'll be able to bring you some more detailed stats. So Chelsea versus Spurs, it's great reading there for Grace and for Mama G Talks, all the 2 Chelsea fans in the group, with 5 wins on the bounce for Chelsea.
There you go, right there. 5 wins on the bounce. Wow, Chelsea really entering this game with that mental advantage, as you can see. But you know what? The good thing is I usually do the injuries, and there's only 1 injury to report as of today. Of course, things may change quickly. But right now, Chelsea have 0 injuries to report about, and Tottenham only have 1, and that's Oliver Skipp, whose potential return date is still looking to be at the end of the month after he picked up that injury in pre-season. So with Chelsea and Spurs entering this game fully fit, with their, I guess Chelsea are still in their transition. They've still got transfers to complete going into the season. We've still got a couple more weeks of that, of course. Ed, how do you see this game panning out? Do you think Chelsea will carry on their good record against Spurs, or do you think that the Thomas Tuchel side not being ready to face Spurs will give them the mental edge?
Yeah, I mean, last week's game against Everton was an incredibly dull game. The only bright spot for me is I thought that Raheem Sterling looked very good from the bits and pieces I saw. He seemed a little bit more involved in the build-up play, like we talked about in the preview shows that we'd done before the season started. Spurs blew Southampton away, but they are Southampton. And Southampton are a lot of people's, not necessarily dark horses anymore, because I think a lot of people are tipping them to be either down or around the bottom. I know that, they were one of your 3 in your predictions at the start of the season, T. So what we learned from the first game is that, as you said, Chelsea still a little bit rusty, still obviously trying to find their feet, minus Lukaku with the new additions, and Spurs hit the ground running, carried on from where they should have left off last season. I think that if you were to pick it on form alone, you would say that a 1-0 win against Everton last week compared to a 4-1 demolition of Southampton, it would edge towards to Spurs' favour. But obviously those last 5 meetings ticking along the bottom shows you that regardless of form, it seems to be that Chelsea have Spurs' number.
It does seem that way. And do you know what? My thoughts going into it, it's quite difficult on how you really pan this one out, because I do think there is a side of football when you're the away side turning up to a stadium that you're not used to winning or you have a bad record against, because we have seen worse Chelsea sides than this one and better Tottenham teams in this one, but Chelsea still coming out on top, or a draw at least. And it kind of having a bit of a downer on Spurs, which we saw the famous game where Leicester won the league with that 2-2 draw, and Chelsea finished what 8th or something in that season.
Yeah,
so
they dropped off a mole that season, didn't they?
Yeah, and Tottenham were the title contenders, so I do think there is an element of that. But with Chelsea, how everything's still uncertain at the moment, whereas Tottenham, there seems to be a lot more stability. Everyone's bought in. Even the whole fan base are connected because of Antonio Conte, and he is a wonderful manager and very good at getting results. Even though for me, I know this goes around because he has, since Conte's come in, Tottenham has scored the most goals, more than any other team. I still think that they will set up in a pragmatic way and try and hit you on the counter attack. I still think that is Tottenham and how they're gonna operate in this game, and I think that might be enough with the instabilities that Chelsea have. They're still toothless for me up top, and I think Tottenham will be able to manage that out and try and defend them. And how Thomas Tuchel's going to approach this is they're going to be the protagonists. They're going to be the ones having their foot on the ball, trying to be the aggressors on Tottenham. But that's going to play right into Tottenham's game plan. So I do think if there is a side that's going to wedge it, unfortunately, it's going to be Tottenham Hotspur. But what's your prediction going into this one? Then I'll give you mine, and then we'll see what everyone else is saying in the comments.
Yeah, I've started the ones in the comments too that I've seen so far. So yeah, I agree with you that I think this is a perfect place for Antonio Conte's counter press and counter attack system, and I'm going with the 2-1 Spurs win.
2-1 Spurs win. Interesting. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, and I know a draw is what a lot of people have gone with in the comments, but I still think that Tottenham, they may have the better chances in the game, and they may feel like they're unlucky. But I just think that Chelsea being at home, having the home advantage from the crowd, first home game of the season, and they're not as bad as a lot of people think. So I still think they're going to be good enough to get a draw in this one. So I've gone with a 1-1 draw. Let's see what everyone else in the comments has put in. Paxton, he put in the first prediction, and he's put with a Chelsea 1, Spurs 1. Havertz and Kulusevski with a goal. Wilf has put in a 2-2 draw. He doesn't like either of these sides, which no Arsenal fan should. B&B, as another Arsenal fan, says, as much as I hate the money mafia of Chelsea, I still hope they beat Spurs 2-1. David Lee's gone with the same result as Wilf, going for a 2-2 draw. And Moss is agreeing with myself and Paxton, going with a 1-1. So at the moment, you're the only one who has gone with the Spurs win. So that's interesting, I guess. Interesting for you there. So, Ed, what was I going to say now? So, yeah, guys, this is it. Paxton, you've hit the nail on the head with this comment. And this is not just to Moss, but everyone else, if you're watching afterwards, the comments are where you are going to be officially putting your predictions in. This is just for fun. So whether it BNB, David, Wilf, Pax knows it as well, but anyone that's put their comments in right now, we still need you to put them in afterwards, because it's going to be easy for us to work out, collate, and keep track of your result, the predictions that you've gone for. So make sure you still write them down, get them on the nice little piece of paper. If you're modern, get them on your phone on the notes, copy and paste, chuck them in the comments as soon as we end this video. Let's move on to the next game. And we're going to move on to, because we've got plenty of Arsenal fans in the chat right now. We're going to go with the Arsenal game. Arsenal versus Leicester at the Emirates Stadium. There's quite a little storyline behind it. And a certain... I think Jake is awake. But yeah, the certain storyline going into this one is Youri Tielemans, of course, who's been heavily linked with a move to the Emirates going into this game, but he's still a Leicester player. And there's been talk about Youri Tielemans this week, about Arsenal looking like they might even hold on until his contract expires, which is in 2023. But that's a big risk, of course. Me and Ed will talk about it. But first, Ed's going to give you the records and stats going into this game.
Yeah, again, so we're just going to do the last 5 meetings, form and stuff we'll probably do in a few weeks' time again, like I said. So Arsenal fans, that's very good reading, ticking along the bottom there. Only one loss in the last 5 games, including 4 wins. So you have not drawn a game in the last 5, and Arsenal have won 4 out of the last 5 as well. So very similar to the Chelsea Spurs game. That's definitely a one-sided form guide if we're going on the last 5 games between these two teams. So it's edging towards Arsenal, more than edging, to be fair.
It's decent. That's what I like to hear as an Arsenal fan. In terms of injuries, looks to be good to Arsenal on the injury front, because Takehiro Tomiyasu, he played his first 45 minutes against Manchester United. And yeah, he's getting some fitness in the legs. But the other 2 injuries was Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe, who are both returned to training. They may be in the squad, but I don't imagine either of them or any of those 3 will start, because they've not had any minutes in the preseason. So yeah, I don't think you'll see them start. Maybe come on for a little cameo at the end, especially Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe. Maybe Tomiyasu might come on at some point in the 60th minute, but because of his position, I don't see him being a necessity until later on in the game at the most. So yeah, Arsenal getting their key players, key depth, I would say, back into the squad. But for Leicester, it kind of eases on their front as well with Ricardo Pereira. He's still going to be out. He's not going to make it until next year. So we'll remember to say that every time we do this for the next weeks. Ryan Bertrand, he's suffered with a knee injury and hasn't featured, and he's still a number of weeks away, Brendan Rodgers says, from being fit. So we're looking at the back end of next month. So no Ryan Bertrand for this game. Also, Harvey Barnes, he will be out with an injury as well. He's got some irritation in the knee, and it's similar to Ryan Bertrand, another knee injury. So it's not the type of injury where you can take a risk with these types of things. So yeah, he's going to be out until the end of this month. So he should be the player that could return the soonest out of those 3 there. So Ed, talk about this game. How do you see it going? Was you very impressed with Arsenal last week? Because I've not even heard your thoughts yet.
I think it was hard not to be, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of chat around going to Crystal Palace on a Friday. They obviously did a number on you last season. Arguably could have won both of them. Barring that sort of Eze chance, we're realistically not having... They didn't have much of a sniff for most of the game. I think even the guys over in Eagle Eye Football, I think, held their hands up and said that Arsenal impressed them. I think it was hard not to be impressed. I think we saw the difference that Jesus brings to the Arsenal team. I heard Wilf talking about it on your Arsenal show, and I completely agreed. And with the John Terry stuff, Wilf, if you're still watching, could not agree with you more about him being massively overrated. But sort of the difference that Jesus brings, not necessarily just in goals and assists, but how he will then free up Martinelli, how he'll free up Saka, how he'll free up Ødegaard, because there's an actual threat in front of them now, is massive. So, I was heavily impressed. I think Palace did well to keep it at 2 in points. And maybe if Eze had put that chance away, who knows, Selhurst Park, we all know what that gets like when they've got the wind in their sails, or to be fair to them, even when they're not. So, I was very, very impressed. Very impressed.
That's what I like to hear. And what about Leicester? They were 2-0 up as well, up against Brentford, but then weren't able to hold on as Brentford when they snatched the draw at their ground.
So Brendan Rodgers special, isn't it? Doing well and then throwing it all the way. I wasn't impressed with them necessarily. I still think there's obviously a few players. Well, they've replaced less. They brought in less than anyone else in the entire Football League, haven't they? And there's a definite need to refresh that squad. Brendan Rodgers is up there with the sack race, as horrible as that is to talk about potential managers that might be losing their job, and obviously letting a 2-0 lead as early as they had it go, and Brentford look more like the team that were going to do something towards the end of the game, I think says a lot about probably where they are as a team. But they held on, kept that point. That would be important for them. So, I wasn't overly impressed with them, but I also wasn't overly impressed really with the Brentford in that game. I just think they had the ascendancy towards the end.
Exactly. There you go. And B&B saying right there, Ed, Ben White ranking out of 10.
He
in
didn't
for his
really.
game.
He didn't really put a foot wrong from what I saw, did he? Really, he was quite steady. He's sort of playing that inside right back position,
Yeah.
filling in where he needs to. Yeah, 7.5, 8 out of 10 for me. I think he was perfectly serviceable. I think you've obviously got a class act in Saliba, but what did he do wrong to get less than a 7, 7.5? For me, I didn't see him do anything wrong.
That's true.
You kept a clean sheet, so that by default should make them at least 7s, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know B&B is going to agree with you because there was a massive debate on the Arsenal show, and just throughout the Arsenal fan base about Ben White's performance baffles me. I know it baffles you as well, Ed, and I know it baffles you, B&B, and everyone else who thinks that Ben White had a great performance. But yeah, you can't please everyone, can you?
No, you can't.
But yeah, so in terms of how I think this game is going to go, I think it's going to be a massive game for Arsenal. First game in front of their home crowd with the renewed energy, buzz surrounding the club at the moment for the majority of the fan base. The match-going fans have been feeling it for a while, but even just looking at how we sold out the Emirates Cup, Arsenal have never done that. So that kind of shows you the feeling that we had going into the season. That win against Crystal Palace, seeing Saliba have the game that he has, Zinchenko, Jesus making a massive difference, and then potentially seeing the debutant in Fabio Vieira come on for some minutes. So yeah, there's a lot of optimism surrounding Arsenal, and I hope that Mikel Arteta and his staff can really use that and get the players ready for this game and fit and firing and keep the level high, maintain those levels, because it's still a young squad. It was actually the youngest squad on the weekend as well. So with the young squad, as I said, you can get a very high ceiling, but you can also get a floor as well, a low floor, because just how young people are. You know, if you've got kids or you're a teacher or something, one day your child or your student can be amazing. Next thing you know, he's crashed down and he's been an absolute nuisance. That's what kids are like, and that's what they are in terms of the working world and the footballing world especially. So I do think we're going to be comfortable, though. Leicester, there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding them. Wesley Fofana may move. So I don't think they are in the most stable position, and coming away from home at the Emirates is going to be tough for them. What's your prediction, Ed?
I'm going 4-0. 4-0 Arsenal.
4-0, convincing. Woo! I hope you're right.
I think it's going to be convincing. Leicester still look awful on set pieces.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Gabriel going to be a nuisance. You've got an actual striker in the box now, Jesus, that could be picking up the pieces. Yeah, I don't see Leicester putting a glove on you at the minute. And clip that if they turn up and do brilliantly. But yeah, I don't see them laying a glove on you.
I ain't clipping you because I hope you're right. Now I've gone not as much as that. I mean, I hope you're right. Maybe it will be right in the middle of what we're going to say, because I think it's going to be a 2-0 Arsenal win. I think
most of the TTF have gone for 3-0, so they're in between us at the minute.
Oh, there you go. I don't like that. 3 different score lines. It's one of the opportunity for one of us to be right will be, unless Leicester go and score a little, early goal. Then, hey, at least the TTF ain't winning. But yeah, 2-0 or 3-1. That's how I see it. But I'm going to go with the 2-0. Another 2-0 win. And that's what Paxton's gone with there. He's gone with the first prediction. Arsenal 3, Leicester 0. Jesus, Ødegaard, Saka. Leicester don't have a decent keeper. Oh, yeah, Iverson, Danny Ward. But yeah, look, he went with Danny Ward. Darn it. Iverson played in training. Wilf has gone for 3-0 to Arsenal. So has B&B. Rogers sounding worried. Yeah, definitely. Talking highly about Saliba. Also, yep, that's what I've been saying. 3-0 to the Arsenal, says Moss. We smash them 3-0 every year. Hopefully Vieira plays. David's gone for the 3-1. So, yeah, it's similar. That's my other result that I'd go for. But David's gone with it. So Moss went TPG3 special. Know-how. What's my goal for the year? What is my goal for the year? Good question. I'm mainly doing it by like 3-month period. So if I was going to say next year, this time, hopefully 1,000. Yeah, I'm saying the goal is 1,000. Yeah.
We've got the World Cup coming up. World Cup's going to be I think it's going to give a boost.
Yeah. Exactly. Hopefully, but because it's in the winter, a lot of people might be doing it as well. But hopefully so. Yeah, that you guys can carry me over that line. It's you, not me. I just put the content out there. It's whether you guys enjoy it that carries it over. So yeah. What else we got here? Moss saying watch out for Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. He looked good last week. He did. He had his like breakout season last season, but now he said it in the post-game interview. He's looking to add goals and assists to his game. He hit a banger last week, but now he needs to get in those positions a lot more and take the opportunities. It ain't looking good for Leicester the way the season is going. Absolutely not. Not signed anyone in the transfer market. No, they've got financial issues. They need to raise 60 million before they can bring anyone in. Might do that with Fofana alone and more. No, I'm still wearing it. Good evening to yourself, Social, and Steffi, and everyone else that's joining in the chat as well. Have we got any more? Bargav saying Ben White just hated for no reason. I do agree. Against their best player, a lot more difficult to keep Zaha quiet. Mm-hmm. Social gone with a 6-1 Arsenal win.
There's always goals. There's always goals in.
Social went for a 6-1. Was it 6-0, 6-1 against Crystal Palace as well? big up yourself as well. Ravi and everyone else locked in. If I've missed your name out, you know I still love you. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so already. As we move on to the next game, and it is going to be the Saturday evening game as Brentford take on Manchester United at the Brentford Community Stadium. Wow, this is a massive game for Erik ten Hag already, as Brentford will be taking on a weak, mentality-wise, weak Manchester United side, wounded. Ed, hit us with the records and stats. And then I'll come with the injuries, and then we can just beat. And I'll let you. The floor is yours to talk about Manchester United.
Yeah, well, as we said last year with Brentford, take absolutely nothing out of this. So Brentford have lost 4 out of the last 5 games and drawn 1 game, and that draw there was from 1947. So I don't think we need to worry too much about the last 5 meetings. Obviously, last year Man United must have done the double over Brentford with 2 wins. But yeah, there's nothing really in the stats for these 2 teams, and obviously both coming off different results last week. Obviously, Man United never looking like really troubling Brighton last week, and Brentford coming back from the 2-goal deficit on Sunday, so they'll definitely be on a much more of a high than Man United.
However, for injuries in terms of Brentford, missing Christopher Aguerd and Ethan Pinnock. With Christopher Aguerd, he's not expected to be back until next week. So he picked up a hamstring injury. He's not looking mid to late August, is when Thomas Frank said. So that could be a big injury. Ethan Pinnock, no return date as of yet, as he's got a knee injury as well. So they've got no time frame. So it could be a while, could be an ongoing issue. And Sergi Canos has picked up an injury too. So if you're looking at there, guys, that's 2 potential right backs or right wing backs. Aaron Hickey might be a good shout if you want to go for him in the fantasy team. But yeah, with same as Canos and Aguerd, expected to be back mid to late August. So he won't be fit for this game. But for Manchester United, in terms of them, we know they had a few players out injured. Anthony Martial, he's expected to return to the squad after his thigh injury. So you may see him on the bench up against Brentford for this one. May even start because he has had minutes in pre-season. Just depends on how serious that injury is and how well he's recovered in that space of time. Brandon Williams, there's no real explanation, but he's not expected to be there. It could be an injury. It could be because he's looking for a move.
Yeah.
And other than that, Pelestri still in the squad. He's expected to return. Maybe he might be on the bench. Who knows? But yeah, let's talk about Manchester United now. Ed, I'll let the floor is yours. We spoke about Manchester United a lot already. I had my watch along. My West Ham Man City spoke about them, and you know what? Just want to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. At the moment.
What a mess they're still in. What an absolute... We watched that game, obviously. We watched it as yours last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
They're just not... I can't tell you anything good about them. And I don't take real joy in it anymore because it's really boring now. The Premier League is better with a good Man United team. It really is. But they've spent how much money on the guy at the back, Lissandro? He looked short. Now, obviously, if Danny Welbeck is bossing you as a centre forward, at this day and age, I love Danny Welbeck, but that wasn't a good performance. Danny Welbeck was not making incredibly intelligent runs. He wasn't making runs that would, that Paolo Maldini would have struggled with, or anyone. Don't write people off. What Ben White had one bad game at the start of last season, and everyone was saying he's not going to be able to hack it, blah blah blah. But it was for him and for his manager Ten Hag. I think it was a welcome to the Premier League. Welcome to the Premier League. This is what it's about. A team like Brighton, who can finish middle of the pack, lose their best players every summer and come back again, restart, and they can play as they did. Yeah, it just didn't. It did, and the midfield is still the issue. It's not Harry Maguire. It's not Lisandro Martinez. It's not De Gea. It's not whether Wan-Bissaka's good enough. It's not whether Luke Shaw's good enough. It's not even really that Fred and McTominay aren't good enough, which they probably aren't. They don't have midfielders in the middle that can do the job that needs to be done in that system, with that formation, and with those defenders behind them. They're not functional. They don't screen the defence. They don't offer easy passes. They're box-to-box midfielders without any kind of defensive nous to be able to protect Maguire, Lisandro, and everyone else. They're just completely and utterly disarray at the moment. And Ten Hag has, if he'd had hair, he'd be pulling it out already, I'd imagine. It was, and obviously you've got the basket case of Ronaldo. What's he doing? They're so reliant on him still. He's a week older than me. They shouldn't be reliant on a 37-year-old poacher anymore. He should be a luxury player to bring on, or to boss games when there's nothing else going on. Obviously, he's not happy there either. Yeah, it's welcome to the Premier League.
Yeah, and it's welcome to the Premier League for Ten Hag, but from the Manchester United players, it's the same old usual that we saw last season, and loads of points under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign as well. So I think this is a huge game for Ten Hag, because this guy is a very, very good coach. He's very, very good at what he does. He can set up a team well, given the right structure. But in terms of him, it's all about if he's going to be backed by the board. It does not matter how much good of a coach you are. No. If you're not going to be backed in terms of signings, getting rid of players, dropping players, and all of those things, if you're not going to be fully backing this guy, he will fail. Ultimately, he will fail. He'll end up getting the sack. It will tarnish his career. It will do, because look at how it affected David Moyes for a long period of time. Now he's picked himself back up to a certain level, back to the level that he was previously before the Manchester United job, because it's such a poison chalice right now. And as you said, that midfield area, it's needed working and recruiting on for years. Since Michael Carrick retired. And even before that, really, they needed to get other players in and around him in terms of quality. But since Michael Carrick's retired, they've not even competed for trophies on a serious level anyway. So, it's poor. It's a very poor balance to the side. They don't even have the right mix in terms of age, or, it's ridiculous. Like, there's no clear direction. So there's so much problems there. And in terms of your prediction, Ed, what have you gone for in this game? We know we haven't really mentioned Brentford, but we know you can mention Brentford when you give your prediction in here.
Yeah, I think, what you were going to say, I think we know what we're going to get from Brentford. You're going to get the high energy. I think Josh Da Silva will start. Shout out to you saying he was the potential breakout player for them this year. He will probably start. He has the unenviable task of picking up the Eriksen role, whilst Christian Eriksen tries to pick up whatever the hell role he's supposed to have at Man United right now, left wing or right wing, wherever he was trying to play. I'm going to go, and I think this might be a little bit optimistic even for the Man United fans. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1. I can see Ivan Toney is going to do exactly what Danny Welbeck did and just pick Lisandro and go, right, he's my man. I'm on him. I'm going to just, wherever he goes, I'm going to go hit me and work off me. Yeah. I'm going to go with a 1-1. I'm going to go with a 1-1. It's a conservative guess from me, I think.
Yeah. I hear that. Do you know what? I'm going for the exact same result as last week, but the home side is going to win. A 2-1 win for Brentford. I do think Man United do have the quality. They will score. I don't see Brentford holding on. I saw them against Leicester. The defence looked leaky at points. But at home, well, as you said right there, you know what we're going to get. High energy, high intensity. The crowd's going to be up for it. An evening game on a Saturday. Ivan Toney, seeing Lisandro Martinez's performance, he's going to be licking his lips if he's there at the back, whether it's up against him or Varane or Maguire. He's going to back himself against any of them. The new Brentford players, we might see Damsgaard, who had a wonderful Euros, couldn't quite replicate that form or performances for Sampdoria. He's going to be coming in with a point to prove. That's their Eriksen replacement. And yet, Eriksen returning to his. I've just thought about that as well.
Yeah.
Eriksen returning, the crowd. Yeah, how they're going to respond to that?
I think to quote the great Shaquille O'Neal, I think Ivan Toney's going to say barbecue chicken.
Yeah,
he's going to be licking his lips saying barbecue chicken about Lisandro.
Yeah, for real. It's going to be interesting. I've gone with a 2-1 win, so I think they will score 2. Man United might pull one back, make it a little bit nervy. But yeah, I'm sorry. If you're a Manchester United fan, this is so important because it's just in terms of the mood around the club's already low. If you're going to try and turn something around or have momentum to build from, I think you're going to need it for Ten Hag. Otherwise, this is the reason why I mainly say it. I know it's 2 games into the season, but the players' mentality, they're not built. They're not built for that. They're not. The club's not built for that. If the players are seeing this and be like, yeah, this guy, and they, soon as they think this guy has no idea, look what they did to Jose Mourinho. Yeah, dashed him. They purposely went, nah, forget this. I'm not buying into it anymore. We saw it last season with Ali, Ralph Rangnick coming in. They don't care. They're mercenaries there at that club, which is why Erik ten Hag certainly needs to be backed by getting rid of them. So yeah, Paxton's gone with a 1-0 Manchester United win, Bruno penalty. You need, to be honest, you need it, Pax. You do really seriously need it. Brentford going to shock Manchester United, Ten Hag 2-1. Wilf, is it even a shock? Would it be a shock? Would it be a shock for you, Ed?
No, that's why I said I think I might be going conservative, not picking Brentford to win.
Yeah.
And we're at 30 years into the Premier League right now, and I've watched every single season. To say that is not an easy thing to say because you are programmed if you're a certain age. Yeah. To think Man United equals a win on a Saturday. That is tended to be what you think what should happen. So yeah, and just quickly on Bruno, what did I say during that game?
He was
hiding in plain sight, wandering around in areas that he can't affect the game, but looking busy, hiding in plain sight. There's too many of those people doing that at United at the minute.
And that's it. Like, there's no problem losing to... Like, honestly, there's no issue with this Manchester United side losing to Brentford. It's about how they're going to respond. I don't trust them. If they lose to Brentford, I don't see how they're going to respond. I don't see that and how they're going to pick themselves back up. Seriously, I don't. That's the issue. We can't even get Rabiot. Not that I want him. Through the door, we are finished, says Paxton. Tell him Moss Boss. Big up Arsenal Vlogs says 2-1 Manchester United. Ten Hag, welcome to the Prem. No easy games. Man U, lol, another loss. Brentford, 1-0. Better side, says B&B. David Lee's back in Manchester United to win by 3-1, which is, I think, was the score last season.
Yeah.
So, Dave, I respect, you got to back your club. You got to hope for a turnaround. You know what? I know our fans would certainly do it in the comments. So, yeah, not necessarily me. These guys had a go at me last season when it weren't going well, when I was backing us to draw or lose. But hey, that's what, you know what, TTF, you won, so you won. Matt says 12-1 Brentford.
No, he says 12-1.
Oh, 12-1. Oh, wow, even worse. There you go. Moss says 2-2, he thinks. Kendor says Banter United. Big up to you. Big up yourself as well, Kendor. Yeah, it's not great. And big up Martin in here as well. Guys, remember, get your predictions in the comments at the end of this video. So, in terms of the next game that we're going to talk about is, Martin, you came right on time because I do think this is an important game in Aston Villa versus Everton there at Villa Park. Steven Gerrard versus Frank Lampard. The reason why I think this one's big, it's the first game of the weekend. And that's not the reason, but the reason why I think it's big is because both teams are coming off the back of a defeat, and I think these two managers could be the favourites to win the sack race. There's nothing actually winning, but the first managers to get sacked if it doesn't start well. With the investment Aston Villa put in and the predicament that Everton were in and are in currently, with a lot of investment for Frank Lampard as well, as the pressure could build. But Ed, hit us with the records and stats, and then it'd be nice to hear Matt's and Martin's thoughts on this in the comments as well.
Yeah, so not bad reading for Villa fans. So for you, Martin, not so much for you, Matt. I'm afraid Villa unbeaten in the last 5, winning 3 and drawing 2. And obviously, you've still got the issue of whether or not we could even have Gerrard and Lampard that close to each other on the same pitch, remember? So who knows? They could never play together. Can they manage next to each other? We're going to find that out as well.
Exactly that right there. In terms of the injuries front, we've got Aston Villa, only 2 in Courtney Hause with a knee injury. Yeah, had knee surgery. So he's not expected to be back training up until the end of this month, though. So, yeah, not too long. And we could see the return of Tyrone Mings, who had an injury. Of course, this is another thing I'd like to hear Ed's thoughts about. Tyrone Mings losing his captaincy, Gerrard stripping him. And it has caused, upset within the Aston Villa fan base. For mostly what I've seen, I'm not sure. Martin, you'll have to let me know. Has there been a split? Because mostly from what I've seen is people aren't happy with that decision. It's not about dropping him. It's more about the strip of the captaincy. But for Everton, yeah, this is why it's a problem at the moment, and probably why Matt and other Everton fans are giving Lampard some leeway. Their injury list, it's not looking good. Of course, Andros Townsend's out, not expected to return to the new year. Ben Godfrey picked up that horrific injury, which isn't as bad as it was first feared, but he still will be out for a long time, not expected to return until after the World Cup. So he had successful surgery on the fractured fibula that he sustained against Chelsea. So he's expected to be out for around 3 months. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, with his knee injury, is not expected to return until the mid to late end of next month in September. And then we have Andre Gomez, who's out, not expected to be back. Tom Davis could be back into the squad. And Yerry Mina currently being assessed. No return date on that ankle ligament problem. So, yeah, it's not great. Of course, Ed, it's quite a bit of talking points. So, first, I'll let you answer about your thoughts on Tyrone Mings and then Connor Cody signing for Everton.
Oh, do we have to talk about the second thing?
You're a Wolves fan. Yeah,
I know. I get it. And maybe English football in particular, British football in particular, maybe we put too much stock into the captaincy and what it means. But it does mean something over here. But Gerrard is ruthless. Gerrard was a ruthless player. He was a ruthless captain himself. And if he sees that Mings isn't going to be his starting centre-back this year, then why not move it on? I guess that's what he's thinking. Whether or not it's something that I would have done, I don't know. I think there's ways and means of handling it. It doesn't sound like it's been handled very well. If it's sort of caused these ruptures in the fan base and in the team itself, if it has. So it's probably not the way I would have handled it, but I think Gerrard is still very much alone, and I think he's not a player anymore. He more than earned his stripes as a player. Obviously, Premier League legend, 100 caps or more for England, Champions League winner, blah, 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 won an FA Cup by himself. But that's all good and whatever, and it is very good. But being a manager is very different to being the talismanic captain of your boyhood club, which he had with Liverpool, although he was an Everton fan, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's ways of handling it. I think he will probably learn from this situation as well, I'd imagine. But it'd be interesting if, Martin, if you are in this, let us know what the Villa fan base is saying about Tyrone Mings. I think we're quite obvious about our thoughts that he's, average. I think if he wasn't left-footed or wasn't as tall as he was, he probably wouldn't be anywhere near a Premier League team. So obviously, he is all of those things, so that's why he's there. But yeah, and on the Cody stuff, the heart is broken from it, but the head, it makes sense for all parties. Everton want to move to 3 at the back. You aren't going to find a better leader, captain, central centre-back in a back 3 better than Connor Cody for a team in a position that Everton are in this year. He's going to up the professionalism. People are going to give more because he's there. He's going to get the fans engaged because he will do. That's just what he does. He's even going to make their YouTube videos more entertaining. That's the kind of man that they've brought in. Absolute leader. 7 years he was at Wolves. Played out of position, but was still important. Always there. Never gave up. He will only make Everton better. How much? I don't know. Exponentially, how much he's going to make them better, I don't know. On the pitch, he's going to make them a bit better. Off the pitch, he's going to make them a load better.
Interesting. At first, talking about the Tyrone Mings one, I actually disagree slightly. I know you kind of said, is that the decision that you would make? I actually think it's the wrong decision. And the main reason is Tyrone Mings, who's been a club captain longer than he has been, and then Gerrard has been there. And I think what you're doing to a player, I know it is made out a lot in this country, but if you're stripping someone of club captaincy, it's a lot more than just to do with on the pitch. Because if he's not playing, but you still make John McGinn your vice captain, then that's fine, because he will still take over the responsibilities that a captain has around the club, such as, even they sort things out on the coach. I know it sounds crazy, but like even sorting the sweets or something out.
You can have a match day captain and a club captain.
Exactly.
That is a thing.
Yeah. And that's what I think, by taking that away from him, that's really a blow to the player. And I don't see, as some people are saying, that's taking the pressure off. It's really saying, like, you aren't good enough, in a sense. Like on and off the pitch, it's a big step to make, and it's a power move, it's a power play. And we saw what happened with Arsenal and Aubameyang when he was stripped of his captaincy. I know he didn't play, but that was for different reasons, and he wasn't able to get back into the squad. But I think it's a very difficult decision to make. A lot of Manchester United fans would have wanted that with Harry Maguire, but look at how Eric Ten Hag's approached that. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. If there is a time, I can't do it right now, because you're already putting your back up against the wall. And even though the aura of Steven Gerrard, etc., that will soon fade away, and it probably has done already. I just think you can call it can be a recipe for success, or it can be for disaster. It just really depends on if you've got the whole team bought into that. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait. Look at that. Odds says Fernandinho. He was the club captain. He weren't playing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It happens a lot. Mikel Arteta himself, he was a club captain and he wasn't playing. And we still had Koscielny as the match day captain. I agree with you on the Connor Cody part. Indeed. But yeah, let's see what Matt and Martin are saying before we get into our predictions. Because Martin says, I'm 50-50. I hope it makes him better, as there won't be pressure or spotlight on him because he's not the captain. I think the other way, Martin. I do think that's more spotlight on him now. There'll be eyes on him even when he's on the bench, looking at how he reacts, etc. Like that Ronaldo thing. People will look for his reaction. Maybe he will. Only results will blow this over. And there hasn't been a split. Okay, I didn't think there was. But Paxton says, I take Mings over Maguire, but I take a League Two player over him. Hey, I'm not a massive fan of Tyrone Mings as a footballer, but as a character, I really do like him. And that's why I think that, it's a bit harsh to take the captaincy off him in that sense. And Matt said, in terms of Godfrey, massive loss in Godfrey. Mina as well, but we can expect him to get injured. Yeah, Yerry is always injured. I think Cody coming in and Onana will make us solid again. Even though we lost to Chelsea, we were solid, but we lacked goals. Yeah, I do agree. You were solid. Do you agree with him as well, Ed?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. Goals, as we said in the previous shows, is going to be the biggest thing for Everton. Yeah. I was impressed with Patterson as well, the right back.
Definitely. Yeah, he
still
was very good.
Cheap on FPL as well, if you're still doing it.
I just don't trust Everton in terms of...
No, that's the only thing.
Yeah. Matt saying, I'm hoping Everton got really go for it and really want us to see us try and score, because I think if we sit back, they could pick us off. And he also says Villa are under pressure, open day defeat to a promoted side. And then if they lose to Lampard, Everton, it's not looking, exactly. It really isn't. And the goals factor is a big one. But before we carry on, I want to hear your predictions, Ed, and yours in the comments. Remember, make sure you keep them written down, saved on your notes for the end of the video.
Yeah, well, Martin and Matt are still going at it. So I'll maybe add to the fuel to the fire. I think this is going to be... potentially, I see this as being a draw.
I knew he was going to go for IKEA.
I'm between a 1-1 and a 0-0. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 draw. Yeah, oh man, if there is a side that's going to win, I do think it could be Villa because they've got more goal scorers on the pitch. Do you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, sorry, Matt. I do think it's going to be a 2-0 Villa win. I just do not see Everton scoring, unfortunately. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Villa 2-1. Watkins and brace for DCL. Okay, Watkins brace, and DCL goal. Yeah, DCL's not playing. He's injured. But 2-1 Villa. We will want more because we're the home fans and we won't allow poor performance.
Martin's obviously got overconfident in the since he first put that one up.
We've rolled him up. That's what we've done. We've given him that siege mentality there, Ed. He's like, forget this. I'm going 3-0 now. Wilf's gone for the IKEA as well in a draw. Going to be a nervy 2-2 draw. Neither manager can afford to lose. We've already gone through those comments. Apologies there. After that United prediction, I hope Villa win 15-1, says David. And Moss has gone for a 2-1 Villa win. If anyone's going for a win, it's going for Villa because they're at home. And a lot of you have gone for 2-1, like Moss, like Pax, and like David as well. Cody, a massive signing for Everton. If I'd have been him, I'd have chose West Ham. That's if it's back three though, isn't it? Once again,
and also family. His family, his wife and 3 boys are still in Liverpool. That he just commute every day. So
right, there you go.
So I'd imagine being at home. He's a massive family man. I'd imagine that ticks some boxes as well.
Definitely, definitely does. And we're going to move on into the next fixture. And the next fixture we're going to talk about is going to be Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. I do think this one's a big one. Me and Ed were having a little bit of a debate in the background. Let me know what you guys think. Mainly because it's for me, Forest's first game at home. West Ham, everyone was really bigging at West Ham, but when you look at the injuries that they've got, potential banana skin, I do see at the moment. They weren't very good against Manchester City, but we'll talk more about those in a bit as Ed brings us the records and stats.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Forest, it's going to be the new Brentford in terms of league games. The only thing is with Forest and West Ham, they have relatively newish games from sort of the mid-2000s when West Ham did go down. But we are looking back into the 90s for some of these as well. So Forest don't have a great record against West Ham, but I'd imagine anyone that played in any of those games is either a pundit or will be watching it on their own on their sofas. So just for posterity, Forest have won 1 out of the last 5 and West Ham have won the other 4.
Decent indeed. In terms of injuries for Nottingham Forest, I know they've made some new signings as well. They're making more moves. Omar Richards and Ryan Yates are still expected to be out. Omar Richards still got a long time until he returns, until October they're looking at. So their new signing, not great for that. But Ryan Yates, he could be back for this game. So with their other signings, it's going to be interesting to see how they gel. West Ham on the injury front, still not looking good in that defensive positions with Ajerd and Ogbonna, the 2 centre-backs, being out. Ajerd is not expected to return until the start of October. Ogbonna, not until the end of this month. So he might be fit to come on the bench or be on the bench, but he's certainly not going to be starting this game. Lucas Fabianski could return from that injury picked up. It was a thigh injury. It depends if they're going to risk him or if they want to play Areola for this one. But Craig Dawson, he might return as well. But it all depends. They've had, 3 centre-backs and a goalkeeper on their injury list, where they had no centre-backs and Haaland ate them for dinner. But we'll talk about him a little bit later. Ed, talk to me about Forest versus West Ham.
Yeah, I think Forest, I think it was we're talking about welcome to the Premier League. I think last week they saw that, although I think we both predicted them to stay up, and I'm not changed by just one game, of course. It'd be interesting to see how they attack their first game at home since 1999 in the Premier League.
Wow. How old was I there?
You'd have been just about one and a bit, wouldn't you? You'd have been just over one, not even by very much.
Not even that. Not even.
No, you'd have been one. You'd have been one.
Nah.
No, you wouldn't have been. No, you wouldn't have been. Of course, you wouldn't.
I would have been a month old.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, shut up. I was at high school, so it's all very, very different. But yeah, so it's been massive City ground. It will be loud. It will be raucous. West Ham's defence is going to be an issue. Potentially will play a part in my prediction on this game. And if you haven't watched it, guys, make sure you do look at the weird corner routine that Forrest did last week. I don't know if you've seen it too.
Is it on Match of the Day?
No. Have you not seen it?
No.
No players from Forest were in the box.
So
they're all 6 or 7 players outside. Player put his hands up, whip it in. They all charge in like it's the charge of the Light Brigade, and the keeper catches it. Worst corner routine ever. One of those set moves from like an NFL game that just doesn't work. So they are obviously trying different things, but yeah, it was quite a good display actually from Newcastle. We'll touch on them later, I think. But if we're going to go with predictions, I am going to go with Forest getting a goal, breaking that duck, and I'm going to go, I think, with a 2-1 Forest win.
You've gone with a 2-1 Forest win? I'm going to go with a 2-0 Forest win. I've got to back them for a clean sheet. I do rate, you know, my boy Cooper, man. That's another one. He's another one in the not Brendan Rodgers.
Whoa.
I know.
Spit that out.
I know, yeah. I'm the Graham Potter. Not as good, though. Not as attractive in terms of football. But yeah, he sets them up well, sets them up in a counter-attacking system, strong foundation to build from. Very good, Steve Cooper. So yeah, I'm going to back him with a 2-0 win. They will hit them on the break. And let's see what you guys have said in the chat. It's been different, I'm seeing.
Yeah, we're all over the place with this one, I think.
Because Paxton's gone with a Forest win.
Lingard, shock as well, hasn't he?
J-Lings, exactly. Shock result of the week. Wolves back to West Ham with a 2-0 win. Martin's back to West Ham with a 3-1 win. Nottingham Forest 1, West Ham 1. So we got different results by people in the TTF. 2-1 Hammers, but I forget what I had on Super Roo. Forest lost to Spurs that season in the FA Cup final.
Yes, they did.
David hitting us with a football knowledge right there. Martin, he's not happy. I'm free because he's 3 years older than me. It's my maturity, Martin. That's the difference. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he does have nice hair, though, Martin. I will give him that.
He does. Yeah, it's and Martin.
Immaculate hair, Martin.
Yeah, he does. Big up yourself. And the beard, yeah, makes Martin. It makes Martin makes him look 40. What, the beard? Hey, it's not that big. Big up Red Devil Yannick is on 2-0 West Ham. Rice and Bowen goal, and B&B's back to West Ham as well. So yeah,
it's all over the shop a bit, isn't it?
There's a few. Yeah, me, you, Matt, and Paxton, the only ones back in Forest. Come on, Midlands, make us proud.
For me, it's the West Ham defence.
Yeah, same here. I really don't see how they're going to hold out Forest with the crowd. That's going to be at the start of the season. It's so important, that home crowd.
It's the bump that Brentford got last season that kind of helped them towards the middle of their sticky period before they got Ericsson. There was a big bump from their fans.
And do you know what we're going to do for this one? I'm really getting Ed working here. You know what I mean? We're going to do I'm going to do 2 games. Because I may as well. We're going to pair them up for the most of the season in Manchester City versus. Ed's already onto it. Man City, Bournemouth, and Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Ed, I'll let you decide which one you want to go with first.
Right, we'll go with Man City, Bournemouth, just because I'd already clicked on it, and it's dead easy. For the last 5 games, Man City have won all 5 of them.
Easy.
So nice and easy. And the form guide for Palace and Liverpool is exactly the same. Last 5 meetings, 5 wins in a row for both teams. So yeah, if we'll start with Liverpool Palace because it's on there. Let's switch it up. Let's start with last year's runners-up. Let's go with Liverpool.
So, in terms of injuries for Liverpool Palace, oh my word, this injury list is not looking good. It is not looking good at all. There's 8 injuries right there. Let's have a look at them right now. So, Thiago, he's going to be out, not expected to return until next month. So 6 weeks is what Klopp said initially. Curtis Jones, not expected to return until the end of this month. Jota could return on the bench, but won't be likely. Probably one more week, I'd say. Kevin Keller, he's not expected to return until then either, towards the end of this month. Tsimikas, he could return. Naby Keita, he's fully expected to return, so that's a plus for Liverpool. Oxlade-Chamberlain, no return date with that serious hamstring injury picked up. And the same goes for Ibrahim Konate with a knee injury. So yeah, it's not looking good for Liverpool in terms of the injury front, but Palace may take some joy or some hope in that. But for Crystal Palace, it's not looking too great for them either. Ferguson, he's not expected to return until after Christmas. Another injury for him. Jack Butland, metacarpal fracture. He's not expected to return until September, until when the transfer window shuts. And then James MacArthur, he's not expected to return to the end of the month. Same goes for Elise and Tompkins. He's got a muscular injury, not specified though. So both sides struggling with injuries, especially at the back in the defensive depth, I'd say, for Palace, and all over the pitch really for Liverpool. But how do you see this game going? How do you see, this Liverpool game going? And then I'll give you the Man City injuries as well, because it's not too much. Laporte, he's expected to return in the next month. And for Bournemouth, they've got David Brooks, of course, who's October. His return date could be Joel Rothwell next month. Ryan Fredericks ruled out for this game. Could return following weeks coming. So, how do you see both of these games going? Man City win, right?
Yeah, Man City win against Bournemouth. Erling Haaland looked more than I think I was expecting, and I was expecting a lot. That kid he's still a kid. The fact that he is a kid looks completely and utterly, unplayable. He looks unplayable.
Why did you go for Kane?
Why did I go for Kane?
Why did we?
Oh, right. Well, I know why I went for Kane in the FPL because I just assumed that Haaland at some point will be given a breather. Yeah. But I don't know if he will now. I'm already regretting it. But Tottenham have got some nice fixtures coming up after this one. So it's playing the long game.
That's it.
Although Spurs scoring 4 goals and Harry Kane not being involved in any of them is really, really annoying. So for this game, I think this one's probably easier to talk about for Man City versus Bournemouth. I'm going to go with Man City winning 3-0.
3-0. And we've gone for the Liverpool one.
So Liverpool, I think Palace are going to put up more of a fight, obviously, than Bournemouth, just for the calibre of players that they've got. They are a different calibre of player. But I am still going to go with the Liverpool win. I think Liverpool, although Fulham did play well last week, they still did have some chances to put that game to bed. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 Liverpool win on that one.
There you go. So 3-0 both for them?
No, 3-0 and 3-1.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'm going to see Palace scoring.
So, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Yeah. I mean, if Van Dijk and the whole Liverpool team play like they did last week, or anyone scoring. So, yeah, Moss has gone for 3-0 Man City. I haven't given mine yet. Apologies. Before I run through yours, I'm going to go for 4-0 Manchester City. And for the Liverpool Palace game, 2-0 Liverpool. So 4-0 City, 2-0 Liverpool. It could be more. They could possibly run away with it. But yeah, I'm going to go conservative with a 2-0 and a 4-0 City win. So yeah, Moss has gone for Man City 3-0. Martin 5-0 City. 2-1 Palace, says Martin. Palace always being a bowl hitting. Not from them results, from their meetings. There was Sam Allardyce was the last time I think they won.
Yeah, or the Pulis one as well, wasn't there? There was the Chris Stamble, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, of course. 3-1 Liverpool. I was going to agree with you there, Ed. Mosses. Join the Fantasy Premier League if you haven't done so. I know we've mentioned it a few times. There is the code. Ed has dropped it. Wilf has gone for a 2-1 Palace win as well. Liverpool going to start slow, but they'll still finish second. I think Wilf's trying to get back to Sainsbury's after Arsenal.
Yeah, he's running out of cupboard food,
exactly.
isn't he?
His nectar points. He wants some building.
Just to confirm, the last time that Crystal Palace beat Liverpool was in 2017 in April.
Yeah, so
they have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on the bounce.
Yeah, there you go. Bogey team. Man City 4-0. KDB hat-trick and Grealish to score. So Haaland not to get... I mean, Matt Pax, that would be the ultimate weekend for me and Ed. Because if Man City battered Bournemouth and Haaland doesn't get on the goal sheet...
I need all 4 of those to be assisted by Cancelo as well.
Yeah, oh, yes, definitely. Edison, maybe, with a little one for me, just for me. I know I'm being a bit selfish there. Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 1. So agreeing with you there, Ed, as well. In Jota, Nunes, Diaz, and Eze with the goals. Copying me, Wilf. Might as well sell Ox to the NHS. Unfortunately, he's just not getting back fit. No. It's unfortunate. Do you know, I always think it must be so hard mentally if you're like a footballer. Like, guys... We don't really understand that. Like, that's their job and the thing that they love, but they're not able to do it because their body just keeps on breaking down. People will say he gets well paid. The money can't buy happiness.
No. He's going to be one of those players, I think, that we're all going to go, what if? Because he really did have it all.
Yeah, seriously. He was like a much better version of Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could play anywhere and he would do a very good job. He had the pace, he had the skill, he could shoot, both feet. Yeah, he really did. At 15 as well. Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 1. Man City 5-0 against Bournemouth. Yeah. Man City training ground win 4-0. Hopefully Scott Parker can do a little job on them, and hopefully
as long as he changes his jacket.
Oh, yeah, he tries to be a fashion icon, doesn't he? So, guys, we've done 2 of those games. How many more have we got left?
We've got 3, haven't we? We've got Brighton, Newcastle.
That's it. Yeah.
We've got Brighton, Newcastle, the Wolves, and then the Southampton Leeds game.
Being as we've got a Wolves fan in here, we've got to talk about Wolves versus Fulham. And then, unfortunately, Brighton, Newcastle fans, even though you very good teams, we've got a Wolves fan in here. So look what he's got right there, the ticket.
So I am going this Saturday. I'll probably do some videos and stuff and edit it together, and we'll put it on the channel as well. We've got some. I'm taking my little boy Jacob going to his first game. When I bought the tickets, I did not see Fulham having a great game against Liverpool the week before. So fingers crossed we do something with it. So Hey. But I will be there. I will be there on Saturday, burning. I'd imagine you're not going to know where the Wolves stop starts and where I end.
Exactly. Well, Ed, this isn't good. Now, you already knew this in terms of injuries. Of course, you're going to have no Chiquinho, no Jimenez, no Adama Traore. Well, possibly you might see Adama Traore, right?
The rumours are Adama's going to be on the bench.
He's going to be on the bench, most likely. And is the same for Semedo as well, because he could return?
No, Semedo's not. Not according to the insiders, but what do they know?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because he was out for a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's still going to have to get built up. Yeah,
he's not been in any of the training videos yet, so I can't imagine he will be.
How about João Moutinho?
No, he's not going to be on the bench either.
No, all right.
Another week or 2 for him, I think.
Week or 2. There you go. Right, Ed. It's sorted when with these. For Fulham, though, Harry Wilson, he's not expected to return for this one until October. Well, he's definitely not going to be involved in this one. Manuel Solomon, he picked up a knee injury, in fact, and he will have to have surgery. Oh, so that's not looking good for the new signing. So, no expected return date there. Joel Bryan, he could return. Late fitness test for him. And the same, Nathaniel Chalobah, he's expected to return to the squad, but he might be on the bench. I don't think you can change a team like that. And big up yourself as well. Gone for a 2-0 Liverpool win, same as myself. Big up yourself right there. Let me know where you're watching from as well. It'd be nice to see, but big up yourself. And all the people, if you are new and you haven't got in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. And actually, even if you aren't like regularly, but you might have never said where you're from, let us know where you're watching from. It's always good to see the TTFs go nationally, internationally, shall I say, because we've got plenty of people. So yeah, Ed, whilst they're doing that and getting their predictions in, how do you see this game going for yourself? What are you hoping for?
Yeah, I think just for the completionists, it's not a bad looking for Wolves in terms of the last 5 games, unbeaten in the last 4 with only 1 loss a few seasons ago now. I hope I see us at least get a draw from this game, because I'm taking Jacob, and this might forge his love affair with Wolves, which is already quite high up anyway. Obviously, we got Guedes. He'll come in and probably start as well. Apparently, we're supposed to have this. He will play in the central position because Hwang is potentially carrying a knock, so they may switch around and play on the bench. But I'm going to go with my heart, because I'm going to be the first game I've been to in a very long time. And I'm going to say Wolves are going to score 2 and Fulham are going to only score the 1. I'm going with 2-1. 2-1 to my team.
2-1 to Wolves. What am I going to go with in this game? I'm looking at Wolves, how they're going to win. Not really great optimism. Maybe their transfer window's just started. Rejecting 40 million for Morgan Gibbs-White. You want to talk about Benjamin White, not you, Ed. But
absolute silly money, and I rate him, and that's
he's a good player, so. But for what he's done, yeah, crazy. I'm gonna, what I've got to for you in Jacob's first game. I've got to back Wolves. I am going to back them. I'm going to say goals in this one. Let's go for a 3-2 Wolves win. If you score 3 goals, that'd be ridiculously good.
If we score 3 goals, then that's unseemly.
Yeah, I'm doing it for Jacob, man.
Oh,
one of my first Wolves games, I don't think it was my first, but one of them was it a 7-4 win? Yeah, I think it was. Was it 7-4? That one,
good
the
game,
Sam. Yeah. When they were in League One, so yeah. I think my first Wolves game was with you though.
Yeah, it was went to penalties against Aldershot.
And Aldershot won.
Yeah. No, Wolves won. Wolves won.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Wolves won on penalties, but it was a 0-0 game. Nothing happened in it.
Oh, I thought Aldershot won. You might be right. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Oh, there you go. Frank Newble, he was playing. You guys, you're going to be like, who are these footballers you're talking about? Sorry. Let's see what you guys have said in the chat right about now. So we got Moss gone with Wolves 1-1, Fulham, and Bobby's going 2.
Yep.
Interesting. Who's the Wolves fan? Oh, man. But David's backing you as well, and he's gone for the same prediction with a 2-1 Wolves win. Right there, we've also got another 1-1, Hwang and Mitrovic. Not enough impact from the new signings just yet. And then our friend as well, he's gone for a 3-1 Manchester City win. Oh, he's gone for a 3-1 Fulham win. And he went for a 3-1 Spurs win as well. My first Wolves game was at Sheffield United in the 70s. Wow. Who was playing for Wolves in the 70s, Ed?
Derek Dugan. You're looking at sort of Derek Dugan, Wagstaff, and all those types. We were all right in the 70s, I think. Depends what part of the 70s we're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, names.
John Richards, people like that.
Yeah, never heard of. You could just be naming generic names right now. Will's asking seriously, who's the Wolves fan? he's literally got the same colour hair as the top. He was born. He literally got Wolves in his blood, in his DNA. So the penultimate game that we're going to be talking about is, and it's going to be Brighton versus Newcastle. It might be a mid-table matters, but I think either of these sides could have the capability to overachieve this season, and I think both of them will take points off of the top 6. Quite a few of them, in fact. But Ed, give us the breakdown in records and stats for this one. At the Amex Stadium.
So for the battle of the young English managers, we have 2 wins for Brighton, 2 draws, and the last game was a win for Newcastle. And obviously they're both coming off good performances and good wins last week against different opposition.
There you go, right there. Interesting. And you know what? In terms of the injuries front, it's not too bad. It's not too bad for Brighton. Only the one with Jakob Modder, who's still not expected to return until 2023. After he had what was it? He's in rehab. Oh, he didn't actually say, just a knee injury. And then for Newcastle, John Joe Shelby, not expected to return. Javi Manquillo, Federico Fernandez, Jamal Lewis, all going to be out for this one. Maybe Jamal Lascelles might be on the bench, but no Emil Kraft either. So, literally, hang on. How many defenders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Possibly could be an area of weakness for Newcastle right there. But how do you see this game going, Ed? Both sides and really surrounded by optimism.
Optimism. They're going to be entertaining games. They've got entertaining players. Bruno Guimaraes, probably the underrated performance of the weekend.
Ooh,
that kid can play football.
Joke.
Unbelievable. I didn't recognise him when I was watching the highlights, the extended highlights, because obviously he's lost the blonde hair for a bit. But then you just realise the nice silky passes and just the way he walks around the pitch and sort of bosses it. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Impressed with Brighton. Impressed with how they just sort of pick up where they left off. They always do. They lose a player and they pick it up and keep going. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, Brighton at home can be a bit hit and miss. Obviously, they're the XG kings in terms of how many goals they actually score to the amount they create. And obviously, Newcastle, I think I had them in the top 8, I think, in my predictions. I think they're going to do very well this year. And I think that was only heightened by, I think, a very professional and very sensible performance last week against Forest. With all the gusto that Forest came at them with, they soaked it all up. And very, very, very good finish from Callum Wilson as well.
Oh, yeah. And now you see why I backed him for the draft. Now you see.
The only thing on an FPL point with him is he is affordable, but he will be injured for 20-25% of the games this week.
Exactly. But the battle in the midfield, Bruno G, Moises Caicedo, he was excellent against Manchester United.
He was.
That's what Brighton just keep on doing, churning out Basuma, see you later, Moises Caicedo, welcome. And I know he's already been there, but he was bedded in since he signed for them. Made his mainstay last season towards the end with him and Mwepu and Basuma in there. And yeah, he looks wonderful. In terms of this game, I'm gonna go with. You know what, Ed, you go first. I'm playing off the back of you. Yeah,
you are. I think I've gone first in every single one of these.
You have.
I am going to go. I'm going to get off the fence. I was about to get on the fence, but I think I'm going to get off it. I'm going to go for goals in this game. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Newcastle win.
Ooh, I was thinking Newcastle as well. I'm going to go with a Newcastle win. I'm going to go 2-1 though. I'm going to go 2-1. I was thinking Newcastle because Brighton, they just don't seem to be a home team. I think they will play better away from home where the expectation isn't quite there for them to perform. We saw it points last season. I know they battered United 4-0. Sorry, Man United fans bringing it up again. But they lost to Burnley as well. So I just think that Newcastle will take this one as well. 2-1 I'm going for. Let's see what you guys in the chat gone for in this game. Battle of the Birds, Seagulls versus Magpies. And he's gone for a 1-1 draw. 2-2 says Paxton, Brighton. And so he's gone for Pascal Gross, PTSD, Welbeck, ASM, and Bruno G.
Sometimes you have to get through it by just seeing it again, Pax. Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Exactly that. And David's agreeing with you there, Pax, with a Brighton 2, Newcastle 2. Will's gone for goals. Is he agreeing with you there, Ed? In a 3-2? You said 3-1?
3-1. I went 3-1.
That's it. Yeah. 3-2 win. And in terms of the Wolves game against Sheffield United, I think Tony Curry.
Yeah, Sheffield United legend. I think he was there for like 20 years or something.
Crazy. Mad. Big up yourself, David, man. You're the football encyclopedia. That's what you are. What does that mean? Sorry. If you know, you know. Jack Grealish.
Bless him.
Oh, no.
Bless him.
Oh man! And the final game.
I only know how to kick a football. Anything I can do.
Any, what is not Wolves versus Fulham? It's Southampton versus Leeds at St Mary's. The reason why this is last, it's more of a battle at the bottom. It might be more important if this game was later on in the season, given what the expectations are for both sides. But Ed hit us with a record for this one. And look at
Paxton straight in with the last game on Match of the Day.
I love it, Pax.
Yeah, so Southampton versus Leeds, obviously coming off a loss and a win respectively from last week. We don't need to talk about Leeds' win. And the last 5 meetings, we have 3 wins for Leeds. But last season, Southampton went unbeaten, beating them once and drawing with them.
Interesting right there. Oh, mixed really. Yeah, well, some of it's been mixed of late. Just giving you those results there. Maybe that will sway the others in terms of their prediction. But in terms of injuries for Southampton, no Livramento, no Nathan. Well, Nathan Teller could return. Theo Walcott, not expected to be there. Neither is Lianco. So maybe Nathan Teller added to the squad, which probably won't make much of a difference in terms of that front. But for Leeds, still struggling with a lot of injuries, of course. No Stuart Dallas, no Luke Ayling, no Junior Firpo. He could return at the end of the month. Liam Cooper, he's expected to return, as well as Luis Sinisterra, which could be another exciting player to watch in the Premier League, returning from that thigh injury, and goes for Adam Forshaw. So, yeah. Who do you see? What are you going for this one, Ed?
I think Leeds were impressive in parts last week against Wolves. They were at home, so that's obviously slightly different. There were parts of the game when they really did sit back, and I think, although we all know that Wolves aren't necessarily the most attacking team. Southampton are even less attacking, so there's a potential there that they won't do very much going forward. I was very unimpressed with Southampton last week, obviously, not just the ridiculous own goal from Salisu. I don't think I've ever seen an own goal where it would be better if he'd have just not done anything. Yeah. If he hadn't have touched it, he wasn't going in. Bizarre decision that he made. Southampton, I think, had definitely the worst of the weekend. Leeds have, I think, the more attacking threat in terms of what they have to offer. And obviously the cliche of Patrick Bamford being like a new signing as well to go with it as well. So I think I would edge towards Leeds in this game.
What's your prediction? What are you going to go with?
So I think I'm going to go with 1-0 to Leeds.
1-0 Leeds. I actually think Leeds are going to take it as well in terms of result. You know my thoughts on Southampton. I think they're going to get relegated. This is the battle of the former Leipzig managers, so we might see good football in the end. I don't know if it's going to be a 0-0 Pax, because with the high lines that both teams seem to play, it could be the absolute opposite in terms of the goal fest. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leeds win. What did you say? 1-0?
1-0, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. Leeds win. Look at me, I'm off the back of Ed today, I told you.
Remember this for next week. I'm going to make him go first.
I'm going to go first in every single one.
Yeah,
there we go.
We'll take it in turns. That's the way we'll do it.
Exactly there. Let's see what you guys are saying. So obviously Paxton went with his 0-0 draw. But David's gone for a 1-0 Leeds, agreeing with you there, Ed. 1-1. Southampton versus Leeds in terms of, the Americanos in terms of Jesse Marsh and Brendan Arrington, of course. Southampton going to drop off a cliff this season. Will's agreeing with me there, and he's gone for a 2-0 Leeds. Big up yourself for doing that one there. And big up everyone who's locked in and loaded right now. So, guys, we have we have reached the end of this week's preview. We've already ran through the prediction table. Make sure you do get your predictions in the comments at the end of this video. And Ed, is there anything that I forgot that you might remember?
No, I think that's it. Comments in right at the end of this video. If you put in your predictions, I'll drop in at the top the fixtures so you can use that to copy off if you need to. For those of you that put it in the Discord, if you can, just copy it over to the comments.
Yes.
The reason that we're doing this is just it's all about getting engagement in the comments. We've had like almost 20 people in from start to finish, which is amazing. I think, T, you've got 2 or 3 new subs as well from it.
Woo!
So just
Big
thank you
up
very
on
much. Thank you very much for staying with us. And let us know if you think Thursdays work as well. Let us know if that's what you prefer us to do, because I think Thursdays would probably be easier than giving up a Friday, but we can do either. Or we can mix and match it. It's up to you. But yeah, thanks for being locked in. And yeah, well done on getting to 500, T, as well. You're on 509 right now.
Hey, appreciate that one, guys. Appreciate the team effort. Thank you as well, Ed, for being amazing, as you usually are. And look at Amari's edit saying Spurs will beat Chelsea. Interesting. We spoke about that one earlier on, Amari, so go check that one out. Big up yourself and all the new subs in the place. We're finished. We're going to wrap up. Thank you for joining. No watch-alongs this weekend, as I'm not going to be about, but plenty of content will be added during the weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And little videos if you want to see any match day experiences right there, not just from myself, but admin too. So yeah, thank you once again, people. We're going to love and leave you. Once again, massive thank you for the subscribers and the new ones and just supporting the channel like you always do. You guys have been amazing. When we are out, I'm just making sure I'm cleaning up everything. Let me get that off as well, because it's for the outro. So yeah, we are out and peace.